it's just a way of life with me. I came here and I knew I wanted to live on the water.
Water plays a huge role in our business, not only in brewing coffee, but in ice and sparkling water that we create.
Watching the eagles fishing in the river and hearing the osprey babies and the seagulls, and I mean it's just, it means so much to me that I can't ever imagine living anywhere else.
It's just a element that is sometimes forgotten that could very well be just as important as quality coffee itself.
The water is home.
Along with our partner organizations across the country, so Environment Oregon and the rest of the Environment America Federation, we've had just under 1 million face-to-face conversations with Americans about the need to close these loopholes and restore Clean Water Act protections to all of our waterways. Thanks in large part to the work that we did, just this past March, the EPA proposed a rule to close these very loopholes in the Clean Water Act and restore protections to all of our waterways. This is obviously a huge victory for clean water, but it's only a step. From here, we actually need the EPA to get about finalizing this rule and then start enforcing it. So this summer, Environment Oregon has a really exciting and ambitious plan to give the EPA the support that they need to go forward and actually close up these loopholes in the Clean Water Act. Here in Oregon alone, we're going to be knocking on 150,000 doors, having face-to-face conversations with 72,000 Oregonians about the need to protect our waterways.
Us going out there and telling people, trying getting people involved will really get people more involved, not even in the environment, but also in our political system.
Before we can do anything else in terms of policy, in terms of anything from economics to politics, you have to have people that are drinking clean water. You have to have an environment that is operating and getting, clean water.
Through this outreach, we'll be collecting 24,000 public comments to the EPA in support of these rules.
I live here at Pirates Cove Marina on the Multnomah Channel of Portland, but we're actually closer to Scappoose. I've been here on the channel for a little over 11 years. I've had 2 different floating homes, and I've become manager of the marina.
I live on a boat, so I don't live near the river. I live on the river, literally. And this is my 5th boat, so quite a few years.
We get our drinking water from this river. We have a well just a few hundred feet off, and this is our groundwater. So we need to protect it, not only for us, but for everybody else downriver.
I lived on the Anchor for a year and a half, so I was completely off the grid and got quite a lot of what I needed from the river, and it's a great concern to me, actually, because there would have been a time when I could have done that very easily, because there's an abundance of fish and wildlife around that a person could conceivably live off of if there weren't such concerns about mercury and pollution.
As a kid, I grew up foraging trails and building forts, and had just a pretty awesome kind of country-style upbringing. And my favorite days were spent walking up and down Poodle Creek, which is just west of Eugene. And I would build dams, and there was a waterfall actually in our backyard, a small one. And I would just sit sometimes in the river. And one memory I have as a child was sitting in kind of a channel in the river, and a fish literally that was swimming in the channel jumped right over my head and went right through my arms down into the river again. And it really was, the most peaceful and kind of magical place that I'll never forget.
I come from West Virginia, and the rivers there, like the Monongahela and the Potomac and stuff, they're kind of shallow little rocky rivers, and so you can hop on an inner tube and just go floating, and after maybe a couple hours you've gone all of a mile. And so when I first got here, I thought I'd do the same thing, and I suppose it was too early in the season, and I took an inner tube or something over to the Sandy River and immediately got caught up in some kind of like ripping current, just hauling me out towards the end. I didn't even have my life jacket on yet, and the current caught me, and the life jacket went flying, and so I've learned respect for the Sandy River. It's little, but it's mighty.
When I was a kid, my grandma used to take me fishing. It's one of the best memories I have, and now each one of my grandkids we've took fishing, and we're just getting more afraid to eat the fish because of what's in the water. So now it's just catch and release, because we don't want to eat it because we're not sure what's in it.
We want to make sure that we show the EPA and the president that small businesses and small farmers in particular are huge supporters of clean water and actually rely on clean water to have a successful business operation. So Environment Oregon this summer will be signing on hundreds of small businesses and small farmers to the campaign, getting them to add their voice to our call to action.